Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteer Lim Binio has overcome cancer and sews protective gowns for medical workers. In Taiwan, we take a look at an intelligent storage system launched by a local supermarket. Selamat datang ke Headline, saya Simon Gan. Terima kasih menyertai sesi berita kita. In Penang, Malaysia, due to the pandemic, there were lack of epidemic prevention materials. Therefore, Lim Binio volunteered to help make protective gowns for the frontline medical workers. Take a look.
我76。
你从几岁开始车衣服
8岁，
？8岁就会车衣服了。
因为爸爸做裁缝的嘛，
所以你车了多少年了？
差不多啊，60多啊。
Since youth, Lim Binio, along with her husband, rented this workshop. After joining Tzu Chi, they carry out work and volunteer missions together.
这个是用什么做的？
This is umbrella clothes. This looks beautiful, right? It is also good quality and it is wasteful to just throw it away. So I sew it into lunch boxes and give it to a dialysis center.
From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Lim Binio sews protective clothing every day. She's not an office worker, yet she's very hardworking.
Look at the people working at the front line. They are in tough conditions. I'm just sewing clothes. It is not as tough. Bless those doctors and nurses, and may they be healthy. I'm glad that I can help others, and this gives me motivation to do more.
Living with breast cancer peacefully, Lim Binio continues to do good deeds.
我是主癌者啊。
I have breast cancer, but I didn't carry out chemotherapy. I'm only taking medicines. I thought that when my time comes, that it be. You cannot refuse it. So I find things to do in my spare time, folding paper, writing, and I feel achieved doing these things. I think I will continue to do good deeds.
In Indonesia, due to the pandemic, many people are unwilling to go out. A volunteer in training, Ali, has taken on the responsibility to collect recyclables at people's houses. Let's take a look at his story.
This truck is Ili's recycling truck. She takes off as soon as she receives a call.
Barang yang sedikit mereka kumpulin, mereka.
Before the pandemic, they brought recyclables to the recycling station. However, people do not dare to go out now, so they call me and I will go collect recyclables at their homes.
Kalau nggak penting, orang nggak keluar rumah.
Ili collects recyclables diligently and her children follow her. She has set an example for them.
Bergerak, semua nggak bergerak.
If we do not take action, other people will not do the work. So, I have to be my children's role model.
Gimana? Kayaknya merasa terpanggil aja.
Ili joined Tzu Chi because she wanted to shape her children's moral character. From carrying out this recycling mission, she has gained Dhamma joy and spiritual wealth.
Also in Indonesia, the pandemic has affected many people's income. However, there's a group of people in Jakarta's southern district who head to the streets to distribute hot lunches to those in need.
During the pandemic, there has been a boom in public welfare by local Indonesians. Knowing people have been widely affected by the loss of jobs, 2 charity organizations hit the streets to pass out hot meals, with the funds gathered from online donations. In just one day, this young charity group distributed 50 meals and a side of fried tofu rounds to those who need it. According to the plan, the hot meal distribution will last 10 days. What's special about this campaign is that fried tofu rounds or tahu balut vendors are also among the participants. The vendors will pass out the snacks to other street vendors, street cleaners, scavengers, car valets, and etc. The fried tofu rounds is a street food popular in Jakarta, and with their participation in this charity campaign, it has helped the street vendors reclaim some business since the pandemic hit.
Akhirnya kita terfikirkan, ada nggak media yang bisa mobile terus di jalan?
We keep thinking what ways can we bring the items to the streets, and thought of fried tofu rounds. It is a street food, and we can put our food on their trucks and have them distributed to people.
Selama mereka berjualan, selama mereka muter, kita titipin juga makanannya untuk dikasihkan ke masyarakat yang membutuhkan gitu, Kak.
Hickman is among the vendors participating in this charity campaign, and he's happy to do his part to help another.
Terdampak banget.
The pandemic has affected us a lot, especially the decrease in income.
Kurang jalan.
The charity campaign is not only helping the street vendors' business, but also the food orders from different restaurants have helped those small shops. Those who receive the food were thankful for the support as it helps reduce their financial burden a little.
Ya bagus untuk membantu apa orang-orang.
For us, the assistance is good, as we can receive free food. It makes us very happy.
Sembako makanan siap saji, ya kebantu gitu.
The young volunteers keep to strict pandemic safety guidelines and do not create a crowding situation when operating their campaign.
In Brisbane, Australia, a special dentistry medical workshop was held by team of doctors. The event helped pass on professional skills through exchanging of experience. Let's take a look.
The teeth, we need only to stretch the part that needs to go into the contact, and then we'll deliver it to the tooth.
Dr. Lai, who is a specialist in orthodontic, has many years of experience in pediatric dentistry. It's no longer difficult for children to obediently get their teeth looked after with great professionalism.
Especially the dental chair, this technique that I've advocated, the smart hole technique for stainless steel crowns, will help dentists overcome the problems that they're faced with. To overcome the children's fear, trying to make them at ease is the most important.
Team Australia invited several dentists to share their experience, and medical students in the audience listened carefully, did not forget their original intentions.
The reason for that is because often it is diagnosed in the late stages, but this can actually be significantly improved in terms of survival rate if they were detected much earlier, so in stages 1 and 2. That's why, like I said before, the dentists do play a very important role in the early detection.
And I'm really grateful for Timo to put up such great presentations, because it also shows that at the end of all of that, you've still got patients with their quality of care.
Due to special epidemic prevention measures, TIMA held a special graduation ceremony, allowing this group of prospective doctors to improve their professionalism and humanitarianism on their path of practicing medicine.
In Taiwan, a supermarket introduced an intelligent storage system, and along with a computer terminal, the system is able to manage a massive demand for supply from 1,000 stores around Taiwan. Follow a report as we learn more.
We're at a supermarket in Neihu district, and within this market there are thousands of items on display. But do you know how this tiny chocolate bar made its way here? This is the logistics center for PX Mart located in Kaohsiung. Everyday supplies from this center are sent to over 100 supermarkets in Taiwan, but every order for each supermarket is different.
Look at the red region. It's called the CCD, and it mainly scans the item's barcode. Every conveyor belt sends the item through the CCD in order to categorize it.
On the conveyor belts, there are items for restocking purposes, but how does one know where the item goes? It all relies on a traffic lighting on top. After scanning the barcode, each item will be sent to a conveyor belt that has the light up and packaged into boxes. But in order to successfully send massive loads of items out every day, a giant machine quietly works in the background. We're now at the very center of the unmanned storage area, and this thing machine right here is called a stacker. The computer, through sending commands to the stacker, will bring items out. This 30 feet tall machine automatically picks items out after one sends in a command. The stacker is the most important machinery in this unmanned storage, as it provides good utility in the process of storing and taking out goods. On the conveyor belt, thousands of sensors are installed, and upon scanning the barcode on each box, the boxes will then be sent to a picking area, organized before heading out to different stores. Now we're at the center of the storage and the unmanned storage. From a bird's eye view, the unmanned storage only takes on 40% of the normal storage space, but it has 15 times the efficiency of the same space, reducing 80% labor required. A normal supermarket shelf spans from 3 to 5 meters, but at the unmanned storage, height is not limited since manual labor is absent. Therefore, the height reaches to 5 meters and above. A vertical growth in storage space saves plenty of cost for the enterprise.
Like this, it picks items according to numbers on the sheets. If it's 1, then we give it to 1. If it's 2, we send it to 2.
On the other side, the traditional storage remains as plenty of workers pick items, restock, and organize items that are not organized yet. Manual labor is still required, though with the establishment of the unmanned storage, heavy-duty work is handed over to machines, reducing the risks of injury and increasing work quality.
My storage space has higher efficiency, and with the inclusion of the unmanned storage, within 37,369.5 square feet, I can store up to 15,728 board feet.
After the items are picked, it is then sent from logistics center to supermarkets around Taiwan.
This is not organized. The entire package is like this. Yes, it looks like this.
To this neighborhood supermarket, thousands of items are coming in each day, and to ensure that restocking process goes smoothly, a good logistics center is a must. The massive growth of the e-commerce industry has led people to change their purchasing habits. It has also brought change to logistic and retail industries.
Regarding our visionary path, at first, our storage system is for restocking purposes. It mainly serves other retail businesses. But upon reaching 600 stores, we developed our own logistics center, and 10 years before, our enterprise came to a consensus that an automatic SOP is a must.
Along with the rise of intelligent logistics, the unmanned storage is perfect accompanying the trend. But this doesn't mean that machinery is on its way to replace manual labor. One must ponder on how to combine machines and humans in work, creating a double-win situation to find benefits for everyone.
In Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers from Banqiao received a notification from the bureau chief that some elderly people needed to install handrails. After assessing the seniors' living environment, the installation was completed within 2 weeks to ensure that they can go to the toilet at ease.
This is Grandpa Huang's most frequently used area, and it's also the most dangerous place.
After I was discharged from the hospital, I fell down several times at home. My face was all covered with wounds. It's very slippery. As I took a bath and washed my clothes, the ground would get wet and slippery.
We observed that his bathroom is actually very small. After discussing with him, we learned that in fact he hasn't used his bathtub for many years, and this bathtub actually caused some problems when using the toilet.
Volunteers brought down the bathtub and add handrails to make room for Grandpa Huang so that it is safe for him whenever he uses the toilet.
It's very well done. Now I can sit on the floor to take a bath. When I finish, I can hold it to stand up. The handrails are set here, so I can hold it like this. I won't fall. It's excellent.
Thanks to Banqiao Borough Chief's report, Tzu Chi volunteers came to deal with it immediately. Apart from the solitary Grandpa Huang, the senior couple also make volunteers worry. There is only one iron rod hanging on the shelf next to the toilet bowl for support. 3 handrails were installed along the wall to the toilet door. This is the safest route for the senior couple. It has also been the most reassuring power for their family members.
68-year-old Tzu Chi volunteer Lu Huangyue Jian was weak and often got sick since she was young. Facing the pain of her husband's passing and other ups and downs in life, she still insisted on doing recycling. She has done this every day for the past 30 years. And as a cleaner, she donated almost all her subtle salary for charitable purposes, making her feel at ease with a life of giving.
Picking up recyclables along the road is the daily routine of 68-year-old Lu Huangyue Jian for 30 years.
I go everywhere to pick recyclables. Sometimes I go to the construction site to search the garbage bags.
led by her sister, Liu Huanyue started doing recycling, influencing her relatives also.
I listen to Master's teachings every day. She told us to save the earth because it has already been damaged. Doing recycling can share love with others and also save the earth.
I saw that they are doing it popularly, so I followed them to do it.
She is fragile and often gets sick since young. Facing the pain of her husband's pass away, she insists on doing recycling and listening to the master's teachings every day. Although she is a cleaning worker, she has donated 2 million NT dollars to Tzu Chi.
I am very clumsy and my life has been tough, yet I won't feel tired when volunteering. If I'm happy, I won't get sick.
The clothes are all second-hand, and she only uses several NT dollars for meals, so she is very frugal.
After doing recycling, Liu Huanyue found meaning in life, saying goodbye to the toughness and leading a happy and meaningful life.
In Shenzhen, China, Tzu Chi volunteers deliver supplies and love to sanitation workers in the winter. At the distribution site, there are not only Tzu Chi volunteers, but also children from Tzu Chi's children class. They came to help out and learn a lesson about gratitude. Let's take a look.
Young volunteers deliver the supplies respectfully. Their actions are similar to that of adults.
Whenever children bow and pay respect to other people, I feel deeply touched. When we are at home, we also deliver things with respect and say thank you. After saying thank you, we feel very joyful.
Shenzhen Tzu Chi volunteers send love to sanitation workers in the winter. The students from Tzu Chi Child's class are the best helpers.
Sanitation workers get up very early to work hard and keep the city sanitary. So, when I pay respect to them, I sincerely thank them and wish they will live happily.
The reason I brought him here is for him to know that we should be grateful and give of ourselves. People have served us, and we should reciprocate to society. We should let our children know how to be grateful.
We think that it is very good to combine the child's class with our activities. It can teach them a lesson on humanities.
These parents hope to teach children a lesson on giving and gratitude, hoping they will grow up with spiritual wealth.
Many countries are developing green energy now. In Taiwan, the main green energy is solar power. Although solar power is able to produce high amounts of electricity, but when the panels have reached 20 years of service, it cannot be recycled, producing an estimated 1.2 million tons of waste panels each year. What can we do to solve this issue? Follow a report as we learn more. At the Datong Kind Home, there are over 100 mentally challenged patients. Located in Pingtung, due to the hot sun and high temperatures, the patient's emotions can sometimes be unstable.
Cooling down is actually a big help for them.
Since the installation of the solar panels on the rooftop, the overall temperature of the building has decreased significantly. Another benefit to the installation is the money earned from selling the electricity generated by these solar panels, which is more than the donations they collect for a whole year.
The net profit for a year is around 400,000 NT dollars. It is relatively stable and it's for the long run.
Previously, the management staffs were worried that the scorching heat will affect the patient's emotions, but now that's not the case anymore.
Our resources have arrived, profits have also arrived. We've already got the help that we needed right now.
The sun is our treasure, constantly providing energy. In recent years, Taiwan is also actively promoting green energy. However, these solar panels also have limits. The lifespan of these panels are 20 years. When the time comes to replace them, what can we do?
If we can reuse or recycle, we definitely do it. We do not want to incinerate it or dump it in a landfill. It is harmful to the environment.
The EPA projects that by 2031, the annual amount of discarded solar panels will reach 10,000 pieces per year, and by 2039, the amount will reach 100,000 pieces per year.
Taiwan's aim is to produce 20 gigawatts of electricity by 2025, which means by 2045, the amount of waste solar panels produced will be around 1.2 million tons. The International Renewable Energy Agency estimates that by 2050, the amount of waste solar panels produced globally is around 60 million tons. I think that they have underestimated that number.
The solar panel is made out of 5 layers. The top layer is glass, the middle is the solar cells, the bottom part is the back sheet. Covering the top and bottom of the solar cells is an EVA encapsulant, which is not visible to the naked eye, enabling the solar cells to function for a long time. However, it is also because of these 2 layers of encapsulant which causes the process of discarding the solar panels to be very troublesome.
They did not bring into consideration of recycling the panels when they were designing it. We realized that once they have spoiled, it's very hard to disassemble them.
The current method of discarding solar panels is to first remove the aluminum frame and cables before breaking the glass panels, but this method is actually not environmentally friendly.
In other countries, some companies do not remove the backsheet and directly send it to be crushed and then incinerate it. However, most of the current backsheets are made up of fluorine-based plastic, so if we incinerate it directly, it is very harmful towards our environment.
The material that has been shattered consists of metals and glass. A siphon process is needed to separate the glass and the solder strip. The glass that has been separated actually do not have any reuse value.
70% of a solar panel consists of glass. If we remove all the useful metals, the rest is all glass, and glass do not have high economical reuse value.
For the remaining metals, the matter they are incinerated or being buried in the landfill, it will cause pollution towards our environment.
For this notch, we mainly remove the aluminum on the back. The silver in the front will then be further processed.
Currently, solar panels can only be discarded as waste materials. The National Industrial Technology Research Institute is still trying their best to find a solution for this issue. Using high temperature, we're able to separate the solar cells and glass.
If we use the traditional way of discarding it, everything will be shattered and dirty. The 2 methods are actually very different.
The current method of discarding solar panels is to shatter it and then reuse it. However, the new method hopes that these panels can be broken down into large pieces, like the solar cell and the silicon chip, increasing the rate of reusing them.
Nowadays, solar panel companies have already included the fees for recycling the panels into their costs.
The Energy Resource Bureau has already implemented the recycling fees for all solar panels. After they're being installed 20 years later, we'll then head over to collect and recycle these panels. So this is a prepaid recycling fees.
Actually, all green energy machines must have an effective reuse and recycle plan before it is being used on the field. This is the main objective for developing green energy.
In the future, it is hoped that the solar panels can be improved at the manufacturing end, increasing its quality so that a new generation of solar panels can be created with zero waste produced. At the Tzu Chi Sanchong grounds, the annual Northern District Entrepreneur Camp was held with over 200 people participating. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and goodbye.